Yo, what up, guys? It's your boy here, Judah. Giving you another Yu-Gi-Oh! ARC-V episode review for you guys. I changed the setup. I decided not to record myself doing the reviews anymore because it takes up a lot of space on my computer, and I have a MacBook Air, so it doesn't have a lot of space anyway. And I figured this way might be a little bit faster, so I'm gonna have it set up similar to how we did the anime discussions when I did the podcast with Dylan from Clueless Gamers. So I'm gonna do it like this for now. See how it goes. If I like it and if it's easier for me, then I'm going to do it this way from now on. So the episode starts off from where we left off in the last episode, where Edo was defeated from the duel, and Noboru decides to call in the Obelisk students. And basically, Edo just tries to stop the soldiers from attacking Yuya. He defends him, and he goes on a speech saying that the ways of Academia are wrong, and that Sakaki, Yusho, and Yuya were right about having to use dueling to make people smile. And he goes on a rant saying that we've done the opposite of that basically, and we have caused pain and suffering instead. He didn't say that, but yeah, he caused pain and suffering, I guess, instead of bringing smiles. We were tricked, and we thought that this was the only way, but we were wrong, and this and that. So he tries to convince everybody that they were wrong. He wants to bring back the smiles to the Xyz dimension. And then what he does next is I think Grace Gloria basically tells Edo, "Are you serious? Are you actually going to betray Academia? Are you going to be a traitor?" And Edo basically says, he takes off his robe and he says, I'll be glad to be considered a traitor of Academia." And he goes in this cool speech moment where he decides that he no longer wants to be a part of this, and he takes off the robe that Akaba Leo actually gave him as proof that he's Commander-in-Chief. So by taking it off, that's symbolizing that he no longer wants to play any part in it, and that he's becoming a traitor, and he's disrespecting the robe that Akaba Leo gave him because he no longer respects that style of dueling. So yeah, that was a really cool, badass moment for him. That was very interesting. So then Grace starts to get really excited, and she's like, "Oh, Edo's so cool. He actually is gonna betray them." And he decides, "Oh, screw it, I'm going too. Yay! I want to join them and have fun too." So she's just adorable, and she convinces her sister Gloria to come along. Gloria obviously is resisting it, but Grace basically just tells her that, "Oh, deep down you actually enjoyed it," and then Gloria actually blushes, and it was actually really cute. So then she went along with her. So they jumped off the ledge and went down to where Edo and Yuya were, and yeah, so that's what happens there. So now it's Edo, Grace, and Gloria have now joined Yuya's side / the Lancer's side and whatnot. So it's really cool, really great. Things are starting to turn around, and now they're part of the good guys, which is interesting. So let's see, Edo tells the students that if they want to join them, they can come with them. But if not, if you want to go back to Academia, then we'll let you guys go back to where you want to be. He's not going to force them to join them or anything. He's going to let them do whatever they want, and they can decide. So ultimately, all the Academy students decide to stay. Also, a little moment before this, what happened is that Noboru kind of ordered everybody to attack Yuya simultaneously at the same time, and Gloria points out that, "Oh, you're a blockhead. You don't even know how to duel. That's not how the rules work." So Noboru pretty much, he doesn't even know how to duel at all. So he can't duel. He doesn't even know the basic rules of the game at all. So that was actually kind of funny and interesting. So that's when Kaito comes through, and he's like, "Oh, if you have a problem, you can fight me." But obviously Noboru can't duel, so he just gives up, and he's like, "Oh," and he falls on the floor because he's just like, "I can't do anything about this." So he has no choice but to kind of join them because he can't have any way to defend himself. But he was actually considering stay. He actually did want to still stay as a part of the Academy and continue. So he's more of a comic relief character rather than an important, serious character. So kind of like Kronos, Professor Kronos from Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. That's what he reminds me of in a lot of cases. Just a comical character and this and that. Only except Kronos can actually duel. But yeah. So moving on from that, let's see. So they go. So everybody decides to join them. So they go off to try to I guess their hideaway or whatever, the Resistance hideaway, and they try to. We see Edo, Grace, and Gloria, and even Noru, and they're feeding food to the leftover people from the X's dimension that were, that had their families taken from them and that were still, hurting from everything that happened, and they're basically trying to repay everything that they've done by trying to connect to people. And in order to become a good entertainment duelist, you have to bring smiles to people. And this, I think Grace is the one who said that this is good training because, this will train us to, make people smile and this and that. So giving them food and taking care of them and stuff like that. So yeah, moving forward from that, Edo says that the souls of the captured duelists can be revived, and that Leo's plan was to capture the souls of all these duelists and all these people to gather up enough energy to fuel this machine or whatever, which is gonna combine the 4 dimensions in this new utopia, and then all the people who were killed off and their souls were taken were going to be revived in this new utopia. If that is even true, and is his goal, who knows? If he's actually planning on doing that, he could have just said that to deceive them, possibly. But for the sake of this moment, that's what's going on. So Yuya gets happy that Kaito gets happy because he sees that he could possibly have his family back, which is great, and everybody else who died. So that's a good moment right there. Yuya apparently behind the scenes asked Edo if he's seen Yuzu there, and to ask around if they've heard of somebody named Yuzu in the fusion dimension, and Edo told him no, that he hasn't heard anything and he hasn't seen her. So Yuji gets kind of sad, but Gungezaka kind of cheers him up and says, "Don't worry about it, we'll find her. Let's just go." So what happens next is they're planning on going to the They're planning on going to the fusion dimension now, using the machine that the Fusion Academy used to come and travel to the X's dimension. And Alan gives Yuya the roller skates that he created. So now Yuya will actually be wearing the roller skates during the fusion dimension, and be using them at some point. And obviously, just like in the intro, he's gonna be using it most likely to do an entertainment style dueling and make it look really cool and fun and interesting. So he's going to be rollerblading around doing all these tricks and more athletic tricks while he's dueling and trying to create a good show. So that's kind of a nice little setup for that. I didn't think those skates in the intro were really going to play a role. But I guess they really are, and that's going to be interesting and fun to look at, I suppose. So moving forward from that, Sayaka gives Kaito a little fairy. He has it in her deck because she wants to save Ruri and wants Kaito to use her card so she can kind of feel like she's fighting with him and helping him and this and that. And she kind of blushes, so it kind of maybe makes it look like she might have a crush on him or something based on how she was like really blushing. I don't know. It was interesting. But moving on, Yuya, Gogenzaka, Sarotari, and Kaito, they go to the X's dimension, and so that's where it leaves off. So the second half of this episode is focused on the fusion dimension. So we start off with Asuka, Yuzu, and Yugo, and they're there, and Asuka and Yuzu are trying to talk to Yusho, telling him that there was a duelist named Yuri who attacked 6 of their students and killed them off, and they have a really concerned look on their face, and they're basically trying to convince him to attack Academia now because their members are starting to get killed off. So they want to act now. Now's the best time to act before things get even more intense. So Yusho thinks about it for a moment, and he agrees, and he says, "All right, I'm coming along with you guys." But the students, of course, they try to stop him and say, "Oh no, don't come. We'll do it ourselves," because he's still injured, and they don't want him to get hurt any further. And so they're trying to watch out for him, but he denies them and says, "Oh, I'm going anyway." I need to speak to Cabaleo myself. And then that's when we hear a voice. We hear a voice saying, "Yeah, Cabaleo doesn't want to speak with you," and oh yeah, he says that he's never going to be able to reach Academia. He's not going to let him, and this and that. So they turn around and they see that it's Dennis Mackfield. So Dennis shows up, and they're all really pissed off because the last time they saw him was in the tournament when he revealed himself. And so Hugo actually confronts Dennis, and he's like, "Oh, I forgot what did he say? Dennis says, "Oh, you're Hugo, right? I saw your duel against Avatar. It was actually really entertaining, but your entertaining is not better than mine, and this and that." And then Hugo says, "Oh, yours wasn't entertainment. We revealed you to be a villain, a bad guy, or whatever. We revealed your true colors and this and that." And Dennis says, "Oh, I didn't. My true colors didn't get revealed. I revealed it on purpose during the duel because I'm an entertainer and I wanted to show everybody the truth and kind of make everybody happy by creating a show where, hey, surprise, I'm a villain," so stuff like that. So he tried to play it off like that's what he wanted to do, that he allowed it to happen and this and that or whatever. So continuing on from that, Yusho says Dennis's name, and they're all surprised that Yusho knows him. And then Yusho says that, Dennis says that, yes, I saw that when I saw Yusho in the Xyz dimension, that's when my entertainment style dueling first awakened, when he saw him in the Xyz dimension dueling, and that's when it first awakened. And he was going on about saying that he has now surpassed Yusho as an entertainer, and Yusho's like, "Oh yeah, really? You think so?" He was like being smug about it, like, "Oh please, like, you can't be serious. You're not better than me." I mean, yeah. So Dennis wants to prove himself, so he's like, "All right, fine. Why don't we test it out right now? Why don't we just do it right now?" And obviously Yusho's going to agree with it, but everybody else is telling Yusho not to do it, not to duel him because he's still hurt, and they all try to duel Dennis instead, but obviously Yusho's not going to let that happen. So we finally have a duel here, our first duel with Yusho versus Dennis, which is kind of a bit of a troll, as we'll see, because the duel doesn't actually finish at all. It was just kind of, well, I'll get to that in just a moment. But they start off their duel, and kind of funny enough, all that Yusho does is he sets one back row and ends his turn. So then Dennis is like confused, everybody's confused, and he's like, "Oh really? You're just gonna set one back row?" It looks like he's not taking him seriously. But obviously Yusho's a great entertainer, so he's just gonna basically say, "Oh, I'm trying to create a good show for everybody, and like I got a plan and this and that," something like that. And he also said, all right, well, yeah, we'll move on to that part later, I guess. But yeah, the duel begins. So then Dennis, it's Dennis's turn. He draws a card. He draws a pendulum card, and he says that, "Oh, I've become a better entertainer than you. I've grown since the last time that I dueled you. Well, sorry, not dueled you. I've grown since the last time that we've seen each other, and I've learned from everything that I've gone through." So then he starts to pendulum summoning, which is what he learned from the Lancers, and trying to show that, "Hey, look, I've grown, I've surpassed you, I have pendulum monsters and this and that." And obviously this is not going to phase Yusho at all, but whatever. He pendulum summons his 2 level 4 enter mage monsters, and then he overlays and summons his ace monster, Trapeze Magician. Obviously Yusho has nothing on the field, so Dennis plans on wiping him out completely in one turn by activating Trapeze Magician's effect, detaching an overlay unit to make Trapeze Magician attack twice. It has 25, so it'll deal like 5,000 points of damage. So Dennis goes in and attacks directly, and then Yusho activates the trap card that he set. He activates, I forgot what was, I think it was like Silk Hats or something. So since this is an entertainment style dueling, the entire background around this around them changes, and there's like all these stars and planets, and there's two hats in front of Dennis, one blue and one purple. No, one blue and one red. Sorry, and basically what the trap does is it summons two hat tokens, I think, and you can attack one of them. One of them is going to be a spell card, the other one's going to be a monster, and if you attack the monster, then whatever damage Yusho takes from that battle would be doubled. So Dennis basically says that, oh well, it doesn't really matter who I attack. Either way, he could attack twice. He could attack both the hats, and if I attack one of them, you'll still take double the damage. You'll still take 5,000. So either way, you're gonna lose, and it's still a 100% victory for him. And Yusho says, all right, well, if that's the case, then I'll congratulate the victor. If you win and you end up being victorious, then I'll congratulate you at the end, whatever. So Dennis goes in, he attacks the red hat first. So there's a spell card in there, which is Wonder Balloons, which Yuya also has that card. So nothing happens with that. So Dennis then attacks the next one, and then there's a spell card underneath it called Paper Doll or something. And that spell card is a card that if it's in your hand, it's treated as a monster card with 0 attack. So, but you don't take any damage from it. So Dennis thought that he won there, but obviously he didn't. It was just a diversion, and then all the stars and everything disappears, and the illusion is over, and Yusho and everybody else had escaped already. So Dennis is pretty pissed off. He tells the academy students, oh, they're going to academy right now. Go to the harbor right now and try to stop them. So then we see Yusho and Alexis. Alexis is trying to help Yusho walk because he's still pretty injured, and they're going through the tunnel. And somehow Yugo and Yuzu separated from them. He got on his bike, and Yuzu's behind him on the D wheel, and they're just riding off. And Academy is chasing after them with their ancient gear monsters attacking them, and Yugo's dodging them. So they get into a corner, and they get cornered basically, and their academy students are around them. Yugo says he's going to try to protect Yuzu, but as he says that, he disappears. Yuzu's bracelet shines, and he disappears completely. And then we hear Yuya's voice calling out to Yuzu. Then we see Yuya, so that's why Yugo disappeared, because now Yuya's here, and Yugo and any of the Yuyas can't be in the same room while Yuzu's on the field, because the bracelet will react. They can only be one at a time. We still don't know why. Hopefully they finally explain that soon, because I don't want them to go throughout the entire series and be like, oh, well, yeah, it just activates. We don't know why it does that. It just does. Like, they'll never explain it. I really hope they explain it, even if it's something kind of small and simple. Just give us something so we can try to figure out why this happens, because it gets kind of annoying, because we're like, oh, we finally see Yu-Gi-Oh again. Bam, he disappears because another one of the Yuyas appears. It's just like, it's so annoying. So, yeah, so Yuya appears. Yuzu's very happy because she sees him, and Dennis sees Yuya, and he's like, oh, I never thought that I would see Yuya again. And then he says, oh, it's your turn now. So there's somebody in the truck, in the academy truck, waiting to duel against Yuya, and we don't see the character, but we know who it is, and it's basically Kachidoki, the duelist that Yuya dueled in the tournament against, in the first tournament, which he went berserk for the first time and summoned Dark Rebellion for the first time and attacked and pretty much annihilated him. So I guess he's pretty much going to go out for revenge at this point. And we see in episode 113 in the preview that he has all these tribal markings, and I guess that's going to be like his new power along with whatever new fusions he's going to use. So that's episode 112 for you guys. It was a very good episode. I very much enjoyed it a lot. What else do I say here? It was a great episode, a lot of story, and they even managed to put a quick tease in Duel. So that pretty much says that we're going to see Yusho and Dennis duel again, teacher versus student, and obviously I'm assuming that Dennis is going to lose to Yusho. I don't see it any other way at this point. So that's going to be great. I can't wait to see it. Hopefully it's a full duel. It won't be an easy win for Yusho. And actually, now that I think about it, Yusho is an entertainment style duelist. So he will probably prolong the duel long enough to create a show and to send a message across to Dennis. So it's going to be a great duel. It's going to be a long one. It's not going to be like an OTK or anything like that, because that's not Yusho's style. He's not gonna OTK you. He's gonna create a great show and try to convey a message. And also during the duel, he actually tells that to Dennis, be like, "Oh yeah, you know how to make people smile through dueling and doing all your flashy shows and this and that. But do you know how to convey a message to their hearts and this and that?" And that's rule number one to being an entertainment duelist. It's not just about creating a flashy show. It's about trying to convey a message to everybody's hearts and trying to tell them something. So I can't wait to see what message he's trying to tell Dennis. Obviously to entertainment and smiles, but there might be more to it. So yeah, guys, that's the episode review for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. God bless you guys. Thank you so much for everything. We finally reached 200 subscribers just yesterday, I believe. So I'm going to do a 200 subscriber special video at some point during this week. This week I'm going to be editing a duel video. So I guess that'll be my 200 subscriber duel video for you guys, which I want to have it up by this weekend, hopefully by Sunday. So yeah, and that's going to be the Yuya Sakaki versus Yusei Fudo duel that we have recorded. I'm going to work on editing it this week so it can be up by this weekend. So hope you guys enjoyed this review. See you guys next time. I really appreciate it. Gotcha!